okay? Which means you're dividing 2 by a really small fraction. 5 over 100. Which means you're multiplying by 100 over 5. Okay? All right. But your calculator does all that for you. All right. So the equation for the axis of symmetry was x equals 40. The second part said, find the coordinates of the vertex. Well, don't we already know the x coordinate? Yes, it's 40. So how are we going to find the y coordinate? We're going to plug 40 in and figure it out. Well, when you plug it in and you let your calculator do the math for you, you get another 40. Now, what that means is this. The measures are being given in meters. When x, which represents the distance between the two bases, when the distance between the feet of this thing is 40 meters apart, the height is also 40 meters. That's what it means, okay? And that's the highest that you can get it. Because if you remember yesterday, we said the maximum of a function is the y-coordinate of the vertex. So you cannot maneuver and move them 39 feet apart or 41 feet apart and think it's going to get higher than 40. That's the absolute tallest you're going to get your arc.
But if you like move and move those two together, closer, that's taller. Well, I mean, never mind. Like that's.
Well, but then you don't have an arc anymore. Then it just makes like. All right. Let's move on. Number 46. An object is fired straight up from the top of a 200-foot tower at a velocity of 80 feet per second. All right, guess what? That's not even needed in calculating anything. That's how they came up with the function. Okay? The height, represented by h of t, t represents the seconds after firing. Okay, so watch this. Anybody ever been to a football game and Splash comes with those little t-shirt firing guns that don't always work? Okay, or let's say it's a cannon. A cannon in the Civil War. And we're going to shoot a cannonball. All right? And we are on the top of a 200-foot mountain above ground level where the enemy is. And we're going to shoot our cannonball at 80 feet per second. All right. I don't know why we would want maximum height, but here we go. That's what it asks us for. It says find the maximum height. Okay, just stop. What's the maximum of a function? The y coordinate of the vertex. So if we want to find the maximum height, we need to find the y coordinate of the vertex, which means we need to find whole vertex, right?
What's the vertex?
It's the point where the axis, or it's the lowest or highest point of the parabola. It's where the turn happens. Okay? All right. Well, if we're going to find the vertex, we have to start by finding x. How do you find x? In this case, t. Negative b over 2a. Well, b is 80, so that would be negative 80 over 2, and a is negative 16. When you calculate that, t is equal to 2.5. What does t represent? The seconds after firing. Okay, so we shoot our cannon, and in 2.5 seconds, it will be at its highest point. Now let's figure out how high that point is. How are we going to figure that out?
2.5
we're going to plug it in. We're going to say negative 16 times 2.5 squared plus 80 times 2.5 plus 200. Okay? Well, when you calculate that, you get 300 feet. So your vertex is 2.5, 300. Because t is the time in seconds that it takes to get to its highest point, and h of t is how high it is at its highest point. Suppose we were shooting okay, suppose we're not in, let's say we're in World War II, and we're on the top of a, blah, blah. What you call those aircraft carriers, all right? Now, don't leave. Listen to my story. And we're being bombed by some Japanese fighter pilots. And they're flying 500 feet above us. And we know that the highest our missile is going to reach is 300 feet at its highest point. Should we waste our missiles trying to shoot down the airplane? No. We're never going to hit it. Okay? All right.
Wait, to grab that, you would like grab this.